I wanted to do the B.Ed program because I felt like there was something I didn't like about the education system. What schooling I got, I felt like there could be done better. So I felt like I should make some sort of a change. That's why I opted to do the B.Ed course. My name is Rohit and I'm studying dual degree B.Sc B.Ed program in Azim Premji University, and I've opted for physical sciences. In the first year, we did a lot of introduction to physics, revisitation of 11th and 12th concepts, but in more detail, we went through a lot of the derivations of the formulas, which we had already memorized and used in concepts, but we had more time to go into more detail and depth to understand what all of the concepts meant and how they were derived, how they came out to be. Even in terms of experimentation, we were able to explore many of the concepts, see them physically, a lot of the things we had heard about. One of the first experiments we did were to estimate the Avogadro's number, which is the number of particles in a mole. And we had to, just based on a bucket of water, we put oil on a bucket of water and some powder. Based on that alone, based on the size of the oil puddle, we had to estimate the Avogadro's number, which I found very interesting. The classroom experience is quite different in terms of I feel like it's much more freer than my schooling experience, because the teachers are very free in talking. They make the students feel comfortable in whichever classroom they are. They want the students to speak up, speak their mind, ask them doubts. A lot of the physics programs till now have been a little more lecture based, but also when there is problem solving, there are also parts of the course where we are just solving problems together. The student will write down a problem, ask for opinions on what the problem answer could be, how to proceed with the question, and sometimes they would just wait for the students to figure out themselves, ask for opinions and figure out with the students' help alone. Currently, I'm doing my first education course, which is philosophy in education, called Nature and Purpose of Education. We have to learn. We basically go through the foundations of what is education, why are we studying, and how do we teach. So we have to there are a lot of considerations that are not thought of before, as in like the basic principles of what is education, and under what context the meaning of education will change. How should you teach based on the people, based on the society. Also we learn about different perspectives of how we can look at education. Common curriculum courses at Azim Premji University, we have many of those in the first year. For example, understanding India, critical reading, academic writing, and public reasoning. All of these are very interesting. Like, for example, public reasoning is I found to be interesting. We had a chapter about how to reason, inductive reasoning, deductive reasoning. We had a chapter on how to sift out fake news, how to look for fake news, how to check if whether a news is based on the date, based on what kind of sites could you use for confirming whether an article is true or false. In the end of our first year, we had to go for a Padyatra, which is like just a journey through the mountains in Uttarakhand. We had to stay in like seven, 8 different villages, which we walked through, and we just stayed in schools, and we spoke to a lot of people on the way, and the experience is really interesting. It was fun also to interact with all the other different people in different villages, places we haven't been to before. We got to hear different perspectives on how the government system worked, what kind of different problems they face. Like in one of the villages, they didn't even have a road leading up to them, and they were asking us to make a move, like ask the government to make roads for us. And the perspectives of how the villagers saw education, the teachers themselves were talking to us, telling us what problems they face. Like many of the villagers were of the opinion that you should teach the students by hitting them, but the teacher would not agree to that. She believed that we should teach them through love.